What is up, guys? Coach Steve here, Williams Tennis School, director of the Front Range Academy and Adidas camps at CSU Fort Collins, and welcome to the new channel, The Shot is the Goal. I am standing here in the winter on a very snowy court in Longmont, and why would I be out here when it's 8 degrees with a tennis ball in my hand? Well, I have my winters off, and there's two great things about that. The first is I get to recharge and refresh and bring a ton of energy and passion to the kids that I work with in the spring, summer, and fall, and the second is I get a lot of time to do some continuing professional development and research the best way to coach this game and how kids learn and really study skill acquisition. And my buddy and I, Coach B.O.B., we pour over podcasts. We're always working on new ways to coach this game. And it's really what we're talking about today is nothing new. It's just unfortunately not done enough. We have this fed ball lesson that is absolutely holding back our students. And it involves either the coach standing on the tee and feeding to the kid, or the underhand toss like this and the coach barking orders about their feet and their swing and their technique. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work. In an open skill sport like tennis, the tactics of timing and spacing have to come before technique. This is not gymnastics or diving where we're literally judged on form. This is an open skill activity where timing and spacing trump technique. Technique matters, it matters a lot, but the tactics of timing and spacing trump that. We're trying to move away from the 1980s traditional lesson where the coach says and the student does. And the coach says, oh, this is how you need to swing on the forehand. I'm the coach, I know how to do it, and this is how it's done. The problem with that is every single shot in tennis requires a different swing, literally all of them. And so it's this idea that the coach fixes your swing is what's holding us back. And we have to move away from that. And this is a general field called constraints-led coaching, CLC, and a constraints-led approach. And our goal is to help students play actual tennis and form practices and lessons that have a representative learning design and transfers to actual tennis. So on the Front Range Academy and my Adidas camps, we create lessons and structures that are representative learning and help kids become actual tennis players and not professional lesson players. And on this channel, we're going to show you guys the lessons that you should stay away from, and then other ideas of lessons that will transfer. And a lot of that is involving a live ball, has the context of a live ball and an actual opponent. Where you recover on the tennis court, where you hit the ball, what shot you choose to hit is all dictated upon the ball coming to you and where your opponent is at on the court. So it just doesn't help to do this underhand feed. Even if your kid is just dancing around cones and moving their feet like crazy, that just doesn't help. We're losing the context of a live ball and opponent and where our opponent is at. So that's going to be the goal of this channel, is to show you guys some lessons that actually transfer to actual tennis and will help your kid improve. And that is one of the more common questions I get is, hey, my kid is amazing in practice but struggles in matches. And obviously some of that's nerves, but I think what really happens is they're in lessons that don't transfer and they're becoming professional lesson players. Now, this is the part when someone says, oh, well, my student got to this ranking doing a lot of these lessons with fed ball, with the coach fed ball, or I, had a decent ranking with fed ball lessons. Well, there's a term for that. It's called confirmation bias. And, I'm guessing that kid or you were involved in other things that really helped you acquire the skill, like matches and tournaments and maybe other lessons that involved a live ball. And we're simply better practice time. My own data and evidence is, the late, great Henry Matheson. Henry and I trained on this court for years here in his hometown. He's buried right down the road. And he's the first student that really bought into what I was doing with this and kind of moving away from that technique first lesson. And believe it or not, he died as a 16-year-old 10 UTR, tragically in a car accident. And Henry was the #1 player in Colorado and the #1 player in the 6-state Intermountain section in the 16 and under. In fact, he and I were set to head to Vegas the day after he passed away tragically, and he was the #1 seed at the biggest tournament offered in the 6-state Intermountain section. The tournament was actually renamed for him for 1 year temporarily in his honor. So that is the first student that I had ever buy into this, and I'm not patting myself on the back, just simply saying that's my own data and evidence. and what we're going to try to do this year. So stay tuned for some great content on this channel that we hope will help you. It's very important to have a lot of continuing education, and that's what I get to do in the winter, is really study the best ways to help kids learn, and well-intentioned parents, help them move away some of those lessons where kids are standing in a line and the coach is just barking orders about technique, swing, and their feet. We're going to show you a different way and a better way, and show you that the science and the evidence actually points to a better skill transfer and a better skill acquisition with this way. So thanks for tuning in, and we're going to put a lot of content out in March when I'm back on the court and show you guys a better way to coach this game. Thanks for tuning in.